Hey everyone, my name's Tom Worth, and I'm recording this video for all of you singers and songwriters out there. And more specifically, it's for all you guys out there that want to make a living in the music business. If you want to hear your songs on the radio, or if you want to sing to sold-out arenas, or hear your songs in TV shows or in movies, or if you're not an artist but you're a writer that wants to write songs for other artists to record, this video is for you. Because I was once in your shoes. I spent over 10, 12 years as a struggling singer-songwriter. And I did all the things that you're probably doing and you're supposed to do, or recorded my songs, took piano lessons, guitar lessons, vocal lessons, toured, all the things you're supposed to do to become a better musician and songwriter. But I wasn't turning any heads. I wasn't having any real success. In fact, I got to the point where I was getting my songs in front of music industry professionals in Nashville, LA, and New York, but they all passed on my songs. In fact, I had one year I counted, I had over 50 meetings with music industry professionals, and they all passed. They all said no. So does this sound familiar? I hope it doesn't. But does it sound familiar, working your butt off trying to make it in the music business, but you're not getting your songs past these music industry professionals? Well, if so, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is I figured out why the majority of the music industry professionals were saying no to me. And the way I figured out was I asked them. I became friends with a lot of them, and I would ask them, what am I doing wrong? And they would teach me. And 9 times out of 10, the reasons the music industry professionals would pass on my songs is because I was making mistakes in my songwriting. Things like mismatched phrasing, or messing up my rhyme schemes, or my intros were too long. Things I call red flag mistakes. And as soon as music industry professionals hear you make one of these mistakes in your song, they automatically assume you're an amateur and don't know what you're doing and pass on the song, even if the song is otherwise pretty good. So I was making all these red flag mistakes in every one of my songs, and that's why they were saying no. So that's the good news. I figured out what I was doing wrong. The bad news is, guys, I'd be willing to bet that a lot of you are making these same mistakes in your songs, and that's why you're not having the success that you want. So that's the bad news. But more good news, you can learn how to stop making these mistakes, because that's what I did. I simply figured out what all these red flag mistakes were. I stopped making them, and guess what happened? I started having successful meetings. I'd be meeting with, say, a music publisher, and they'd be listening to my song, and they'd be like, hey, yeah, I like this. Why don't you come back next week and play me some more songs? I'd be like, okay, awesome. And every meeting I had, they were interested. Now, had I automatically overnight become this great songwriter? No. The songs are about the same before and after. I just simply stopped making these red flag mistakes, the things that labeled me as an amateur. And then one of the biggest days of my life happened. I got a deal. I got offered my first publishing deal. And that was a dream come true, something I wanted all my life. And the main thing that I changed to get this deal was I simply stopped making those red flag mistakes. So here's the good news, guys. You can learn these red flag mistakes today and stop making them, and your songs will automatically sound more professional. But there's a second thing that changed my career that I want to tell you about. Okay, so now I had a publishing deal, and I was a professional songwriter, and one of the added benefits of that is you get to write with other professional songwriters. So every day I get to write with hit songwriters, guys and girls that have written songs of the year, #1 songs in the charts. And it's awesome because I get to learn a lot from these writers. And what I learned initially really surprised me, and it may surprise you, and it's that I'd say over 90% of professional songwriters use the same process to write songs, especially when co-writing. And it wasn't the songwriting process that I was using. So what did I do? I learned this process by writing with them, and I started writing all of my songs using this process that the pros use. And guess what happened? I kept at it for like a year, and I got my first cut. Now, a cut is when another artist, a bigger artist, records one of your songs. Again, dream come true. Hear my song on the radio. And at the time that I'm recording this video, I've had almost 50 of my songs cut. And I've had 2 different publishing deals, and now I own and operate my own publishing company. So I'm having success, which I'm so grateful for. But the 2 main things that I changed that really affected my career positively were, 1, I stopped making those red flag mistakes, and 2, I started writing songs like the pros write. Okay. Now more good news, guys. I now teach these things. I can teach you how to write like the pros. I can teach you how to avoid making these mistakes that label you as a rookie. What I did is I recorded a video course called The Basics of Pro Songwriting. What that is, it's over 6 hours of video courses of me teaching you all the basics of pro songwriting, how I write songs, how my colleagues write songs, and teaching you all the things to avoid in your songs that are going to label you as a rookie. Now, this is something you can purchase right now, and you'll have instant access to all the courses so you can watch them and learn at your own pace. And I hope you do that because, guys, you're going to learn a ton. And I hope to see you in the first lesson soon.